Y'all enjoying the Affiliate Summit so far? It's pretty early in still. Yeah. How many people from New York City? Okay. Out-of-towners, where are you from? Germany. Wow, cool. Where are you from? Ontario. All right. Yes. Austin, Texas. Nice. Did you appreciate my choice of music a minute ago? All right. Awesome. So thank you all for coming. As she mentioned, I'm Sean Steinmarc, founder of psGive. My company helps organizations and helps other companies basically increase revenue, drive more revenue and more engagement through a combination of gamification, which we'll learn a little bit more about today, and cause marketing, which is really trying to bring some social impact efforts and cause partnerships into the gamification world. I will mention whenever I do sessions like these, pretty much immediately following, I'll probably think of a bunch of things I forgot to mention or that were really important and I skipped over. So definitely follow me on Twitter or just follow the hashtag if you want to catch up as I come up with things in the middle of the night that I should have mentioned. As far as what you all do out here, how many affiliates in the audience? No affiliates. Okay. One, two, 1.5. OPMs. Affiliate networks. Okay, what do you guys do? We'll just do it that way. Agencies. Okay, what do you do? Merchant. Okay, missed that one, of course. Merchant. Okay, rest of you a merchant? Anybody not a merchant? I didn't hit this topic? All right, just to get an idea. That's cool. So, gamification. A lot of people use the word gamification. A lot of people use it incorrectly. I typically hate using the word gamification. I think it's pretty played out, especially in my sector. It is a great word to really signify what we're doing, though. The idea of using rewards and prizes and gaming ideas in order to drive engagement and drive revenue, gamifying is really the perfect word to use for it. It really exemplifies what we mean. Various terms that you may have heard over time. Badges are very popular. Level up, points, progress, achievement, contests, sweepstakes, loyalty points. All of this is gamification. How many of you have ever entered a sweepstakes in your life? Or keep your hands up. Lottery players, reward points with loyalty points with a drugstore or supermarket, or rewards back on a credit card. So these are all gamification efforts. These are all intended to get you to participate in actions that the companies want you to do. Sweepstakes and contests are also super popular. It's really great ways to gamify an audience. Affiliate Summit, every session or every conference, they run a contest to give away passes to attend the show. Contests and sweepstakes are things that everybody are sort of familiar with. Very easy ways to understand the general principles of gamification, so we'll be popping in and out of the contest concept here and there. What we really want to figure out, though, now is not just how to run a contest. We want to know how to turn that into revenue, how to actually make it benefit us financially. In fact, a lot of people have wondered, does gamification really drive revenue? Can you actually turn money from gaming aside from just Las Vegas-style gambling? So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss a few things. The first is what makes for effective gamification, how to convert players in our gaming philosophies to drive revenue, and how to keep those customers, and if you don't have customers, just how to keep that revenue flowing with gamification techniques. So, of course, I'm going to gamify this session. I'm going to ask a bunch of challenge questions. I'm a big fan of Twitter, so those of you who have Twitter on your phones, you can tweet out the answers. I'll also have a couple of piecemeal where you can just right away get a reward. But we'll be giving out points and giving out prizes at the end. The person who earns the most points by answering the challenge questions throughout the session will get a free hour of consulting from me. And that can be on gamification, it can be on general marketing, business strategy, it could be on how to win the skill crane machine at Dave & Buster's. Any skill that I have, I am willing to impart on you all. If you have no desire to get any direct consulting from me, we can convert that into an hour of drinks at the bar of your choice in the immediate area on me, with some restrictions, because I don't think I'm going to let JT win that one. We're going to start with the first slide that I showed. It was a meme of a saying from a particular movie with a particular actor. tweet your answers and anything else you want to tweet with the hashtag in the bottom right-hand corner, GamifyASE14. So, first challenge is what movie is this from? And for extra points, who says it? What character? All right, we'll get back to that too. So, the most important thing, in my opinion, that people really screw up when it comes to gamification or really any marketing effort is not having the right goals. You want to make sure you're setting the right goals and then aligning your gamification strategies towards those goals. For most, the ultimate goal is going to be revenue. I mean, that's why you're all here. That's why you came to this session. That's why we're at this conference. We want to increase our revenue. So that's the overarching goal. But how do you hit that goal? There are a lot of mini goals you can focus on that can help drive revenue towards your organization. You might want to focus on just building awareness for your brand out in the marketplace. Maybe there's a lot of saturation and you want more people to know about your brand and what you do. You may want to increase readership if you have any kind of content or blogging. Maybe you just want to acquire email addresses and you want people to submit themselves to your newsletters. Maybe you want to gain user-submitted content. Content is king when it comes to raising awareness for your brand and driving traffic. So if you can get users to provide you with creative content by gamifying the effort, it'll be beneficial for you to drive extra revenue later. And maybe you just want to boost your social media presence. Maybe you want more people tweeting or using Facebook. I mean, that's a whole other rabbit hole you can go into with the number of platforms. You have Pinterest, you have Tumblr, you have Google+, Reddit, Snapchat is becoming very popular for marketing now. Then even further, do you want followers or do you want shares? What exactly do you want to do? What are your end goals? Focus on that first, and then you'll figure out what techniques to use to get there. Challenge question number 2 is who is this person? And the extra points for this one are how many saves did he have in the World Cup final game against Belgium? All right. Now a great example of a site that uses goals to, or uses gamification to achieve goals is a site called Fitocracy. What Fitocracy does is it basically has gamified the effort of exercising. So their ultimate goal is to get their users to exercise more. The way this works is they use a wide variety of gaming techniques. They use reward points, they use achievements, badges that we'll get into in a minute. They use different levels. So as you enter different activities you're engaging in, you access different levels of exercising, you receive badges for working out, and it encourages people to become more healthy. The basic premise you should take away is their ultimate goal is exercise, and each of their gamification elements are driving users, driving people to that end goal, turning a healthy activity into an actual competitive interactive game. So now we're going to focus on one element in particular that they use and a lot of other companies use to achieve this gamified end goal, and that's badges. You may be familiar with, there are many sites out there that are using badges right now. It's a very popular effort in the gamification world. For a while, Foursquare, which is an app where you can check into different locations that you visit and your friends can see where you are, Foursquare was dominating badge land. You receive badges for everything. Level 5 pizza eater if you went to a lot of pizza joints. You had received mayorships. You received badges for checking in on particular days. It now seems that everybody is starting to implement badges. The badges to a profile, giving people badges is a very intangible way that doesn't cost you that much money, effort, or time, and it's an intangible way to recognize behaviors that you want to incentivize. Oftentimes they're displayed publicly on a user or a customer's, the individual's public profile. So really what you're doing is you're giving them a status symbol that they can share amongst their friends, their followers, their networks. If you have a community, let's say you have a lot of really strong brand advocates. If you have that community and you give them a brand badge that they are a community expert, they like that feeling. They feel more personalized with the brand. You can also give people badges for recognizing their level of involvement. So, for example, if you have a community website of affiliates, you could give people an expert or an elite status badge for answering particular questions or being voted up by the audience. Another thing that I like is giving badges for anniversary dates, for when people became members of your site or joined your network. Even Affiliate Summit. Many of you probably received little pins that had the number of years that you've been attending Affiliate Summit. That's a physical example of receiving a badge that gives you status amongst your peers. Another example might be for somebody who might run, let's say, a couponing website. You could give badges to people who submit coupons. Somebody submits their first coupon code, and they get the level 1, couponer badge. Maybe if they start submitting 10 or 20, they receive more and more higher levels, so they're recognized by the community as people that really are engaging and provide good content. Now, this will flip back to our goals for a second. So you might think the goal is to get people to submit coupon codes. You want people to submit that content that will help you develop the site. That's not really your end goal. The problem that can be developed there is that you're incentivizing the activity of submitting coupon codes, but not the real goal. Your real goal is probably to get correct coupon codes, to get verified codes, whereas the incentive that you're giving people is just to give as many codes as possible. So they might just make them up just so they can level up. What you'll want to do is really think about what that end goal is. Whatever your organization and your end goals are, think about what you truly want to incentivize. In this case, it would be verified codes, and incentivize it appropriately. So for this example, you might do something like receiving a badge after there's 5 uses of that coupon code, or they have a 75% success rate. Again, the important thing is goals. You can also take advantage of other networks. You don't necessarily have to build your own badgification. These are all Foursquare badges that relate back to brands themselves. So different brands partnered with Foursquare in order to develop badges that their fans would be able to receive. Are there any Washington Redskins fans in the audience? I'm guessing no, because I don't think anybody was from the area. The upper left-hand corner, that Redskins badge, that's received if you check it on Foursquare at FedEx Field. You also have to be following the Redskins on Foursquare. So the incentive, the activity that they're incentivizing is following the brand on Foursquare so that they get notifications and updates, and actually checking into the stadium. That's a direct revenue driver. So if I go to a FedEx Field, I check in at the stadium, I receive this badge and show everybody that I'm a true Redskins fan, but I'm also at the stadium, I'm buying stuff, I'm participating in their community. The one directly below that is Toys R Us. Toys R Us gave away that badge for folks who checked into any Toys R Us location during Black Friday in 2010. So they were incentivizing people that would want to get this cute little badge, and it's amazing how much people will do just to get badges on their profiles by going to their venue, to going to Toys R Us and checking in. After people checked in, they even gamified it further by giving a discount. They gave 15% off to anybody who texted a particular phone number of that weekend. So they got 15% off their entire purchase just by texting after they checked in. Back to focusing on, question, yes?
Just was curious how Toys R Us let people know that this was it just on Foursquare, or did they do some of a bigger?
So I'll take it more of a generic level, the way people can find out about these things. One is Foursquare. One is just people, your peers. The question was, how did Toys R Us get the word out? How do you get the word out that these badges even exist in order to get people to want them? What you would wind up doing is you want to definitely have your fan base promote it. So let them know. You want to post up, hey, this weekend, check in on Foursquare. Put it out through your social media networks. Send out email newsletters that are mentioning it. It's really great to focus in on your really dedicated fans, which hopefully you may know already, who makes a lot of purchases, who's very involved with your brand. Get them sharing the information about it. Once the first person, well, maybe not the first person, but once people start checking in, once people start receiving the badges, if you're doing it on your own platform or another platform, as much as you can encourage folks to also share the fact that they received that badge, so that now their network wants to see it as well, you'll increase the virality rate, you'll increase the viral coefficient, and a lot more people will end up wanting to get the badge. And it's not just for checking in. Badges can be used for a wide variety of things to recognize users and what they're doing. Any other, feel free also, absolutely cut me off if you have questions throughout the session, or if you want me to dive a little bit further into anything. So anybody in the room, does anybody here have Zappos VIP status? Nobody. All right, well, I'll tell you. Zappos has a VIP status. I was interested in it. I discovered that they have certain rewards points and such. Zappos had an entire VIP leaderboard. They gave away reward points for activities. They gave badges. They showed status of all of the people that were reaching the top. Every single person that I asked about this campaign, because I'm not a VIP member, I don't have access to this information, so I started reaching out to my network. Every single person I asked had no idea that this existed ever. So it obviously wasn't implemented properly. It didn't really align with their goals, and this leads me to my next point, that you have to stay relevant. You can't just have a goal and say, all right, our goal is to get people to participate. We're going to give them points, and that's going to make them want to participate. You have to make sure that whatever you're implementing is actually relevant to your brand and relevant to your users, to your fans. For those who did have Zappos VIP status, they did love the fact that they were a VIP, not because of any sort of leaderboard, but because they got free overnight shipping. That was the reward for hitting a certain level of activity with Zappos. You have activity, you reach a high level of activity, you get a reward. That reward was free overnight shipping, and people love it. They love that status. They just don't care at all about a leaderboard or badges for this particular brand. Zappos actually got rid of this completely, I think it was about a year ago. The other problem with their implementation was when they did implement their rewards program, it wasn't actually a rewards program, it was just a points program. And if you went to their FAQ at the time, about 2 years ago, and looked up what do points do for me, they actually had no answer. They said, at some point in the future, we're going to use these points for something. So you can't really give people that wishy-washy, we're going to give you something in the future, but you should try to get achievements now. You need to have it all kind of implemented together. And I'll completely admit, at psGive, we made this same mistake. We actually implemented a point system and a leaderboard because we were building at our back end. We didn't have the reward system in place yet, but we thought it might be relevant and appropriate just to release the leaderboard, and we thought maybe people would want to compete against each other to raise up. We were completely wrong. We did not implement it properly ourselves and learned the hard way. You can't just implement something. You really have to have a goal. You have to have outcomes for your fans. So, oh, actually, it worked. It should work. To prove my point from one of great movies, if it works. Doesn't work. Okay.
We don't need no stinking budget.
There we go. All right. Next challenge question for the contest. If you can name that movie, that's a point for you. Oh. So back to staying relevant for your users and relevant for your brand. We're going to pop back into the contest idea. Again, contests are the easiest way that you can just immediately implement gamification and see if your users want to engage on that level. Affiliate Summit, when they run their contest for each conference, they don't give away antivirus software. They don't give away tickets to a baseball game or a desktop computer. They give away what's relevant to their brand, which is actual tickets to the conference. So you want to make sure, if you're running a contest, make sure whatever prize you're giving out actually has relevancy back to your brand. Now, it doesn't have to exactly relate one-to-one. You might not have a physical product, but if you offer a service, what you might want to do is offer consulting. For example, consulting or drinks over consulting. If you're a merchant, if you do have physical products, definitely give away your product. Make sure it has a value high enough that is wanted, but relate back to your brand. Relate back to the image that you're trying to portray to your fans. If you can't get it exactly to what the brand itself is, think about your audience. Think about who is interested in your brand and find a product, a prize, a service, something that is relevant to what your target audience might want. Another thing to consider is partners. So you won't want to just stay relevant to yourself. You don't want to just stay relevant to your fans. You also want to stay relevant to your partners. I learned this one also the hard way when we very first started psGive. We had been talking with a company that offered private jet sharing. I think it was NetJets, where you can actually rent, it was like a timeshare for private jets. We thought this was an awesome prize. I mean, who wouldn't want to win a private jet flight to wherever you want in the country? So thinking that this was a great prize, I brought it up to one of the nonprofit partners we were already partnered with, and we were trying to figure out the best partner for them for a contest. I brought it up to an organization called Keep America Beautiful, which is one of the largest environmental nonprofits in the country. I basically was trying to sell them on the idea that their fans who are environmentalists would want to win a private jet flight, which is probably the most polluted or pollutable method of transportation in the country. Immediately after I said it and got that blank pause, I realized that I had screwed up. And it was fine, I recovered, it was all right. But know your partners. Again, relevancy. You have to make sure that you're matching up appropriately. Back to value also. Make sure that there's some value to it. People won't really bother putting in much time to a prize that's not worth much. If I stood up here and I said, oh, I'm going to give $5 to anybody who tweets, it's probably not worth your time. What you want is perceived value. So even if you don't have a product, maybe you have time, maybe you can do consulting, maybe it's services. Another really big thing are exclusivities. Maybe you can get somebody an autographed copy of a book that they couldn't get otherwise. If your brand has somebody of celebrity status, maybe your CEO is well known, give away a 30-minute Skype chat with them. They don't even have to take time away and go meet somebody in person. A Skype chat is sufficient enough to get people really engaged and active in wanting to win a contest. Perceived value is really just very important. Another thing with the value, do not give away cash. It's a little bit different. Like if I'm in a function like this and I offer you guys $100 to answer a single question, that you will probably do. But if you're a prize for a contest, a sweepstakes, anything where there's a chance of winning, if that prize is cash, unless it's a huge amount of cash, people will psychologically associate the money with the actions you're asking them to take. So if I have to send out 5 tweets or create a YouTube video for the chance to win $100, I'm going to now view that as a wage. I'm going to see it as, well, I have a 1 in 100 chance of winning $100. That's equal to $1. It's not really worth it for me to create a video for $1. The odd thing is, psychologically, if you offer a prize worth $100, people don't make that association in their head, so you can actually offer the prize that has a cash value if it's a physical product or a service. People see that more as a prize that they will win, not as a wage that they will receive. So we've discussed, make sure you have the right goals. Question. I go back and forth on that. I haven't seen any studies. The question was if I consider gift cards cash. I haven't seen any studies that have addressed that. The studies that I've all read are focused on basically like volunteer efforts versus money rewards. Gift cards, I feel like they actually are more of a prize than cash because you're not going to use a gift card to pay down a credit card bill. Cash is seen as something to save, something that you earn. A gift card is sort of that freebie where like, yeah, I'll put in, time to fill out a survey for a $10 gift card to Amazon because I'm going to treat myself with something. So I actually do think gift cards is a good idea. I wouldn't do maybe like an American Express gift card because that's sort of like cash, but yeah, for your company. I mean, if you're a merchant that has a gift card for your site, absolutely, because it ties in with your brand, it would be perfect. But also, like Amazon gift cards, restaurant gift cards would be cool too. So we have goals, we have staying relevant. The next piece for an effective campaign is keeping it fun and interesting. Nobody wants to play a game that's boring. This is an image that M&M's threw up on their Facebook page. This quick and dirty, quick and easy. They had one of their graphic designers just throw together an image of a bunch of M&M's with one pretzel. So they asked their fans to find the pretzel. I'll have that be a challenge question if you can find the pretzel and tweet the location, because I feel like it'll be very creative to see how anybody can tweet a location of a pretzel on this image. By just pushing out this really cheap, inexpensive, easy way to throw something on their Facebook page, fun game, they got a boost of 25,000 likes on their Facebook page. They got 6,000 shares of this image and 10,000 comments on the image. And think about that. So 10,000 people made a comment on the image that 9,000 people ahead of them. There were still people commenting after everybody had already answered and commented on this. It's a great way to just give a fun and exciting way to get people involved and engaged. I'll throw that image up in a little while too if you haven't found the pretzel yet. So again, focus on the fun. Focus on what the experience you want your fans to have. You want to make your experience fun and interesting and not overly complicated. A really great way to do this is with progress bars and with task lists. you want to let participants know exactly what they need to do in order to reach targeted goals, whether it's receiving reward points, getting a badge, winning a contest. Make sure that they understand easily what it is, the actions you want them to take to reach that goal. I'd also recommend not having too many actions at any given time. A lot of people will go out there and run contests, and they'll have a list of like 25 different actions that they want fans to take. It's a little overwhelming. You want to see a progress bar that maybe has 25%, 50%, 100%, not 1%, and you have to do a ton of tasks in order to reach an end goal. I will recommend having many different options and then swapping them out. So maybe today you have 3 items, and then tomorrow you have 3 different items. So you keep people engaged, keep them coming back. After they've completed something, they can continue doing something else. But you don't want to overwhelm them with too much information or anything really that's too complicated. And that goes back to our focus on goals. Pick the top handful of actions that you really want people to engage in, actions that you want people to do that will meet your goals. You're not going to have 50 items that are going to reach a single goal. Focus on the goal, make sure they're relevant, and give them something fun and interesting to play. As much as I'm sure we're all free thinkers and all of your fans and your audience are free thinkers, people like being told what to do and why. They don't want to put too much thought into this. They have enough other things to think about during the day. If your stuff is too complicated or too involved, they're going to walk away. So keep that in mind. All right, my next quiz question. The name of the television show in which these 2 characters play a psychic detective and his best friend partner, which has also successfully utilized gamification to engage fans and viewers and directly drive revenue for their brand. And I would give extra points if anybody knows the first name of the character on the right in one of my favorite all-time TV shows, which was The West Wing. Now, keep in mind, set the right goals, stay relevant, keep things fun and interesting, you will drive revenue. The TV show was Psych, and the way they drove revenue is by implementing gamification on their website. They use these game mechanics to engage with their fans, get their fans engaging on their site, and after implementing this, traffic on their network increased by 30%, page views on the site increased by 130%, and their content was shared over 300,000 times on Facebook, reaching 40 million users. So what they did is they implemented a game where people had to engage in different activities, watching an episode of the television show, which directly drives revenue through commercials. People received reward points for doing different activities that had them engage and feel a personalization with the brand. They did earn real rewards as well. So we have intrinsic value of people being recognized with badges of, I am a huge Psych fan, I'm a Psych fan level 5. I would also receive DVDs or bobbleheads, actual physical gifts, physical prizes to get me to engage in that action. For the benefit for their direct revenue sales, after they implemented this gamification, they actually increased their online merchandise sales by 50%. So they were doing decent revenue up to that point. Their fans are very engaged. People love the show. After they implemented gamification, they had a 50% increase in their revenue. So as you can see, getting users engaged and driving traffic, that's really going to have a great end result and drive revenue towards you. You don't even necessarily have to rely on this trickle-down effect. A lot of people are hesitant about whether there's a direct correlation between engagement and revenue. I'm a firm believer in it. There are studies that show that engaged fans will spend more, and people that are engaged with your brand, they will spend more time and more money and do more referrals over to your brand or your clients. But even if you don't believe that, you can actually incentivize direct revenue generating behavior. So we're going to pop into that along with the idea of ongoing interaction. So keeping your customers engaged over time, keeping your customers acting with your gamification efforts as time goes on. So again, the best prize you can give is one that subconsciously drives revenue in the future. All right, so Affiliate Summit, everybody knows they do these contests every single conference. Everybody knows there'll be tickets to the conference. So they have this consistent approach to keep attendees, to keep fans engaged. Them running a contest, giving away passes, will actually drive revenue subconsciously. Because as people spend a couple of weeks trying to win passes, after they don't win, they've already started thinking about attending the conference. They've started to speak with others about attending the conference. So they're now primed and ready to purchase tickets themselves if they don't win. So if you're looking to get people purchasing products from you, if you're looking for them to get more engaged with your services, if you have a contest to give away what it is you want them to buy in the future, they'll be primed and ready and thinking about that prize. They'll be thinking about your product or service. And after they don't win, all you need is a quick little follow-up, and especially if you offer them an immediate discount, 10% off if you register within the next week. And now people have already been associating themselves. They want to go, they want to attend, they want to make the purchase, they want this product, they want your service. By getting them primed to want to get it, then you're starting to drive revenue after they don't and they come back and purchase. The other thing to think about is it doesn't matter if every single person who didn't win first place gets the second place prize of 10% off. You can send an email out and say, hey, you didn't win, but you came in second or you came in third. You've won a consolation prize, here's a discount. Whatever you can do to get people that are already engaged with your brand and want the product to make the purchase is the best way to follow up. The other benefit is that now that you've run a contest, you have a list of individuals or a list of emails, a list of potential clients that are interested in your brand, interested in your product, or interested in something that's associated with your brand. So this also goes back to the goals and the relevance. If you make sure that the prize is really targeted at individuals that you're trying to reach, by them submitting themselves to trying to win, you have this targeted list of very, very hot leads for you to then go sell. So that you can directly drive revenue from. The other option in affiliate world, you can also do second place prizes that will actually drive you affiliate revenue. I don't know if any affiliates came in, I'm not sure, some of them are here, but some tricks that you can do is perhaps for the people that don't win, you say, sorry you didn't win, here's a free month of Netflix or a free month of Hulu, which we all know you actually get a commission if you get somebody to sign up with one of those services. So you actually are gaining the $30. You're driving revenue if you get anybody to sign up. From the recipient's perspective, they actually just got a nice little prize of a month of free service. I wouldn't necessarily use this in the affiliate world because everybody knows that you're actually getting the commission off of that and they could probably get that elsewhere. But it's a little trick that you can get people thinking and believing and seeing that they're receiving a cool prize. So now, another question here. Who recognizes this screen? Anybody know what game this is? There's enough laughter. I feel like maybe people don't want to raise their hands. So this is a game. I'm not a huge fan of Zynga as an organization, but they really do a good job with gamifying games. It's remarkable. Even though their end product are games online, they've actually gamified the action of getting people addicted to their games. Screens like the one here are meant to drive usage of the game. So for everybody that comes back to this game, which is Farmville, to try to play, every day that they come back to the site, they receive a free gift. These free gifts are things like coins or seeds or tractors or these nothing items that they're receiving in-game that will help them play. The ultimate goal is that they're actually getting users to come back to the game every single day because they don't want to miss out on these extra little prizes that will help them in their game all along. You can apply this to your own companies. So maybe you have a merchant website and you want to increase traffic. Maybe you want to get potential clients to come visit you every day. A lot of people use content for that, which is great. You want to have updated blogs, you want to have updated information, phenomenal. You can also give away reward points every day somebody comes back and visits your site. So you're increasing your traffic by simply having a little button that says, click here today, and then there's a countdown timer saying there's 24 hours until they can get more points. However is appropriate for your brand is the way to do that. So if you have an affiliate network, maybe you want people coming back and taking a look at what the new affiliate programs are once a week. So once a week, you have something out there that offers them something of intrinsic value. You don't have to give away anything of monetary value, something intrinsic that just makes them feel good. Whether it's a level up, maybe it's progress, maybe it's points. It's all those features that you want to give away to just keep that traffic coming back. Another game that does a really effective way to gamify gaming is Candy Crush. Does anybody here play Candy Crush? All right, that one's popular. The follow-up question, has anyone here ever received a Facebook or other invitation to play Candy Crush? Which is like everybody in the audience. They have created this process by which in order, you run out of lives, you're playing the game, all you need to do to get more lives and continue playing is invite all of your friends. They've created a referral network that they don't have to pay any actual money out on because people intrinsically want to continue playing and they're more than willing to go and invite their friends to play. So you can create these types of referral systems. You can create this type of incentive to get clients to refer their friends to your business, to get customers to refer their network to your products or services. It's all about having the reward process that they're getting something for that referral. So it might again be that you're giving them points and recognition, or maybe they're getting badges. Maybe they're playing in a contest where they're trying to win products or services and they need to refer a certain number of friends, network people, in order to level up, in order to try to reach that prize. There are a couple of other companies out there that actually do this directly where they'll give gift cards away if you refer 5 people to sign up with the company. Groupon for a while, I'm not sure if they're still doing it, or maybe it was Living Social. If you got 3 friends to actually make the purchase that you just purchased, you would receive yours for free. So it's all these gamification elements getting people to want to reach a certain reward by acting in a certain way. Now, your end product may not be a game, but the incentives still the same way. Another example that might be more applicable here, did any OPMs come? Are any OPMs in the audience? Oh, all right, OPM. So I hear consistently that OPMs have a little bit of a problem getting users to open emails. So their affiliates just don't open the emails that they send with all the new affiliate programs. If you just embed a link in the email where if they click that link, they're entered to win a prize, or maybe they need to go and find the weekly secret word in one of the emails, that's another way to get people to engage in activity you want. Yes?
Well, actually, a way that we do improve open rates for other clients, for ourselves, and publishers, is actually the way you address it. So something that we're actually starting to implement internally are the concepts of win-back campaigns. And
I'm sorry, concept of?
Win-back campaigns.
Win-back campaigns.
And win-back campaigns are the idea that you're emailing churn emails, emails that have responded to you for 60, 90 days, even like 6 months or a year. You write them an email in the subject line, we miss you, we want you back. That has actually been shown for a 60% open rate on emails that haven't responded to your emails for over 6 months.
That's great.
And,
Yeah.
coming back to the comment on Candy Crush, I thought I loved it when we were talking about the idea of Facebook. I think they would have actually benefited from the idea of saying something like, your friends have thrown you to the wolves to enjoy Candy Crush even further. Because who wants to actually receive those kinds of notifications? But it actually instills the idea that your friend values this game so aggressively that you put your friendship, like it's like playing with friendship. And it's kind of a funny way to say, hey, this game is actually very exciting. We should try it.
Sure. So there's definitely a value to expressing in that referral why you're referring them and what they can get out of it, what the win might be for them. That's good comment there. So Farmville, to get back to Farmville for a moment, this also brings us back to the idea of using other platforms, not reinventing the wheel, using platforms to drive actions that can somehow help your brand. An interesting idea is if you have a recognizable logo, you can use other platforms to get people to create interesting content for you to then post, let's say, on Instagram, Pinterest, elsewhere. I'm not going to bother asking who recognizes this logo, and I'd probably prefer to give points if you had no idea what this was. But it's really a great idea. Recognizable logo, get people to do something creatively related to your brand on other platforms, and post them with you. Now you have content to use. This is still the favorite image I came across when I was searching around for Farmville images. I do admit that I played this game for a little while. I wish it was only because I was learning about their gamification concepts, but I literally got addicted to it. I went there just to start to try to find out what principles they were using, and I found myself building ridiculous designs with apple trees and pigs. It's a terrible game. I highly recommend you never look at it. Now, back to the whole, what if my product is not a game? What do I do? Another thing that I was reminded when I was going around searching for these images is the fact that Bing actually has a rewards program. So you'll notice in the upper left there's a little badge in the corner there. You click on it and you learn about the fact that you can actually earn rewards for searching. Okay, so you don't have to have a game necessarily. You can give rewards for the actual activities that drive revenue and drive users for your company. Bing has actually gamified the act of searching now. There's a lot of search engines out there. Obviously, the top one's Google and Bing, and most people recognize Google as a more powerful engine. Bing implemented this to try to pull some people over. And to be honest, when most people are searching for things, whether you go to Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo or another platform, most of the answers are going to be the same. If you're just trying to find a restaurant location, if you're trying to look up the answer for a very generic question, if you're trying to look up the name of an actor for a movie, whatever search engine you use will probably be similar. So now that you've somewhat commoditized a little bit, how do you get users out to you using your platform, using your brand? Well, you give a reward system. For every search somebody does, they earn points, and those points are redeemable for actual physical gift cards, actually. So we're back to the value of gift cards. It's a great way to give incentives to people. Hotels.com does the same thing. They have a reward point system, which will also go back to my point of being very simple. A lot of reward systems for travel agencies, travel companies, are complicated. You have to figure out blackout dates. The successful ones that people talk about, JetBlue, Southwest, Hotels.com, all you need to do is accumulate points and redeem those points. 1 point per trip, and then you redeem 10 points for another trip. There's no complicated value or miles flown or anything like that. It's a very simple, simple rewards program. So again, back to the Affiliate Summit concept. You can keep your fans engaged over time by implementing all of these principles consistently and ongoing. So you don't want to just give away badges one time. You don't want to just run one contest. You want to keep things going, keep your fans engaged, keep your users, your clients, however you're trying to bring more people in and drive more revenue, keep those activities ongoing to keep them entertained and engaged. Affiliate networks and merchants, you might run contests for prizes such as vacations or exclusive experiences if you don't have a particular product that you might want to give away. If you get people wanting these and knowing that you're the way to get a very cool exclusive prize, people will pay attention for when your next contest is coming out. So they'll be paying attention to your brand, they're interacting more, and then it's just up to you to market to them and drive revenue that way as well. I'll also recommend not spending a lot of time trying to build out your own platform. There's no need for you to think about implementing a rewards program a year from now. There are a ton of services out there, a lot of great companies that provide turnkey solutions for badges, for reward points programs, contests, such as myself. You can find companies out there that let you hit any one of these gamification techniques you want. I'm a really strong opponent of reinventing the wheel. Spend your time on your company, on your organization, what you do best, and find the right partner that can handle all this gamification stuff. You'll also want to make sure that you're engaging people properly and across multiple networks. So I'll do my one shameless self-promotion. So psGive, as you would want from any other company too, you can engage people across networks. Don't just focus on, well, I want to increase social media, I want to get people tweeting, or I want people to like me on Facebook. Get them to like you on Facebook and tweet, and record a YouTube video that you can upload to your website and share with your fans. Get them to answer survey questions. I'm a really big fan of having contests that get people to answer surveys or even trivia about your company, because even if you don't necessarily care about the responses to the survey, you get people thinking about your brand and your organization. So you might ask somebody, what has been your favorite aspect of using our product over the past year? Or you might ask a trivia question, how can you use X in order to accomplish Y? Get them to think about your company while they're engaging in these contests, and then they're going to remember why they want to make those purchases, and then eventually driving more revenue as well. The other benefit of outsourcing some of this stuff is that you won't have to worry about regulations. So there are a lot of state and federal laws around sweepstakes and contests. The FCC just came out with new guidelines about, actually it's not that new anymore, there are guidelines with the disclosures you need to have in order when you're having incentivized activities. A lot of this comes up in blogging sessions where bloggers now have to say whether or not they're being incented, even if it's just a free preview of the product. People have to know. If you're incenting somebody to post a review online or to post something to Pinterest, they need to let people know that they're doing it as part of a contest. Cole Haan was slapped by the FCC. They didn't have any monetary fine or anything. It was more of a wrist slap. But they ran a Pinterest contest where they were getting people to post their favorite Cole Haan summertime attire. And fans were just posting these to Pinterest without really referencing that there was a contest going on. And the FCC said that that's not right, that they shouldn't do that, that it needs to be announced on the board that it is in exchange for participating in a contest. So make sure you're abreast of all these regulations. Ask whatever partner you might be working with if you're running contests, how they deal with that type of stuff. Okay. Also, to keep your fans engaged, you're going to want follow-up. So Code Academy is a website that uses gamification to get people to learn coding. I went on there while I was making this presentation to just see what they had updated and if they had any new gamification principles out there. I just spent maybe 5 minutes on the site, and then later that evening I received an email that re-incentivized me. If I actually cared about playing this game still, I would go back and play further. So follow up. If people are reaching different levels in your system and they're about to reach like level 5 participant, or they're about to receive some sort of recognition, or you have a contest ending soon, make sure you're following up with them and reminding them that this is at play. Now, to review, in short, the most important things: you want to set goals, you want to make sure you're relevant to both your brand, your product, and any partners you have. You want to make sure you're staying fun and interesting. And you want to incentivize revenue-driving activities. Don't just give out badges for the sake of giving out badges. Don't get a tweet just for the sake of getting a tweet. Find what's going to drive revenue and gamify that. And gamify it forever. Gamify everything. That's my perspective. So my final question to any of you who might have been tweeting, I'd like you to tweet out what is the #1 thing or one top thing that you actually did learn from me today. I hope there have been some things you've learned from me today. I will also go back. Actually, let's just stop with questions because we only about 10 minutes left. Any outstanding questions in the audience? None? Nothing? All right, we'll just skip to the answers. Oops. Oh, question. Wait for the mic.
So there are a few campaigns that you mentioned on Facebook that were used. M&Ms, I know you can't do it with that necessarily because there's so many different ways to buy M&Ms. How do you translate that to sales? But how were you able to measure comments, likes, and all those other activities that happened on your social media pages and how they related back to a sale? How can you track that? Are there tools out there? What tools did you implement in order to track that activity?
So there are different ways actually, you know the question. So there are different ways that you can figure out what's actually driving revenue based on social media engagement. It's kind of a whole other topic to deal with. But when you're implementing your gamification, you do want to be able to track and make sure any partner you have has analytics. A lot of it is with specific links that are being used. Also, the activities that are happening, you can relate back to who the users are on your site. So there are certain analytics platforms that you'll know if people are fans, whether or not they're making purchases. And then you do some regression analysis to figure out when sales are increasing related to when the activities happened. Facebook is a little bit more difficult to deal with because it's hard to tell who's linking over to you because you can't, you can put up, customized URLs, but it's hard somewhat to relate certain things back. Other platforms are easier to kind of interrelate things. So that's why I prefer other platforms aside from Facebook. But you want to make sure you have a partner that can track those analytics is the biggest thing.
What partners would you recommend?
So one of my favorites in the gamification sector is Badgeville. They actually started around the same time we did, and they blew it out of the water with gamifications, with reward points, badges, all of that stuff. So I would actually recommend you take a look at them if you're looking for badges and such.
And they track behavior, they track
Yeah, they do. They have a
links.
whole analytics platform that tracks behavior
It's really
if you're
interesting.
going for that. And of course, I'd recommend me if you want to run contests. But,
Good deal.
Are there questions?
So once upon a time, I ran a climbing magazine, and we tried to promote signups by doing contests, right? We were giving away free t-shirts. At some point during that process, we showed up on a bunch of sites that were giving away free stuff.
Yep.
And got a bunch of really just crappy signups, people making up email addresses and stuff like that.
Yep.
Do you have any suggestions for, avoiding that kind of stuff?
Sure. So, and I'm actually hitting that with a particular client now who's B2B, and they want to do a giveaway, but it's really targeted, the businesses that they're focusing on. They don't want to end up on Reddit for free stuff. What you need to do is have certain requirements. Thinking about your goals again, you want to figure out who those fans might be. The difficult part with the climbing magazine is it's going to be a little bit difficult to figure out who are fans of climbing and who are not. So what I would do is I would make the contest a little bit more exclusive and have certain behaviors that people need to engage in rather than just submitting an email address. So maybe they need to submit an email address and make some reference. You ask them a question about their climbing behavior. So you give them a survey, and you could kind of piece through whether or not they're legit or not, or ask a trivia question or whatever it might be. You're allowed with contests to have different actions or different things that people need to do or prove that they belong to a group. Depending on the situation you're hitting, like with a sweepstakes, for example, you would still need to open it up, but you can open it up to everybody with a free entry if they mail in something. Most people won't go through that effort just to win a free t-shirt. So if you make your contest itself exclusive and you come up with ways to do that, such as you need to be a member of a particular community, maybe you need to answer trivia questions about your particular market, just finding ways to do that, and your partners should be able to help you out with that as well. But that's the way to try to limit it. I see that all the time. Any other questions? All right. We'll give you the answers and see if anybody knows. Oops. All right. Anybody know? Princess Bride. Do you know who the character is? Do you know how to spell his name? No. Correct. Very good. Who knows who this is? Yes. Tim Howard. How many saves did he have against Belgium? 16. All right. I actually didn't think people would necessarily know that. Name of the movie? Blazing Saddles. What was the line that was said that was relevant to this conference?
Badges. You don't need badges.
We don't need no stinking badges. Where is the M&M? I have actually a physical prize for whoever can come up here and point it out to me. Oh, not you. You want to come up? Find the pretzel. Where's the pretzel? Very good. All right. Here is your extrinsic prize.
I thought it was like M&M shaped like a pretzel. I was like looking at it forever.
Oh my God. Sorry, man. I guess you totally stopped paying attention to my entire session. Then. I mentioned the name of the show while I was speaking, but does anybody know his character's name on The West Wing? Bert and Gus are on Psych. That is correct. On The West Wing, which was a former show. First name is Charlie. Last name? Charlie Young. You guys need to watch more West Wing. It's a great show. All right. Thanks, everybody, for playing. Appreciate your time. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask anytime, tweet me, whatever.